Welcome to this lecture on operations research. Today we are diving into the transportation problem. Imagine you are running a massive business with factories and warehouses scattered across the country. How do you move your products from where they are made to where they are needed without spending a fortune on shipping? This is exactly the puzzle we will learn to solve today. It is a fascinating and highly practical mathematical tool. Now that we know our goal is to save money on shipping, let us look at what the transportation problem actually is. In formal terms, it is a specific class of linear programming designed to minimize the cost of distributing a single commodity. We have M sources, like factories, which have a fixed supply. We also have N destinations, like retail stores, which have a fixed demand. Every possible route between a source and a destination has a specific unit shipping cost. Our objective is to determine exactly how many units to send down each route so that every store gets what it needs, no factory exceeds its capacity, and the total shipping bill is as small as possible. To solve this business problem systematically, we must translate it into mathematical language. This brings us to our objective function. The formula you see calculates Z, which represents the total transportation cost that we want to minimize. The variable Xij represents the unknown number of units we decide to ship from a specific source I to a specific destination J. The parameter Cij is the cost to ship exactly one item along that route. The double summation simply means we are adding up the costs of every single route. If we increase the number of items shipped on an expensive route where the unit cost is high, our total cost Z will increase dramatically. We want to avoid that. Now that we have a cost equation, we must establish the rules of the game, starting with supply constraints. This formula ensures that the total number of items leaving a factory can never be greater than what the factory actually produced. The symbol SI stands for the maximum supply available at source I. The summation on the left side adds up all the items shipped out of that specific source to all possible destinations. If a factory only has 100 bicycles, this inequality guarantees you cannot ship 101 bicycles from it. If we try to exceed the supply, the mathematical model will reject the solution. Just as we have limits on supply, we also have strict requirements for demand. This set of equations represents the demand constraints at our warehouses. The symbol DJ stands for the exact demand required at destination J. The summation adds up all the items arriving at that specific destination from all possible sources. The inequality ensures that the total shipments arriving are at least enough to meet local demand. Additionally, we apply a non-negativity constraint, meaning Xij must be greater than or equal to 0. In the real world, you cannot ship a negative number of items. If a route is too expensive, the math will simply set the shipment quantity to 0. Before we move on to solving a problem, let us visualize what this mathematical model actually looks like. Here we see a transportation network diagram. On the left, we have our sources, labeled S1, S2, and S3. These are our factories. On the right, we have our destinations, labeled D1 through D4. These are our warehouses. The arrows connecting them represent every possible shipping route. Each route carries two important pieces of information: the unit cost to ship along that path and the actual quantity of goods we decide to send. By visualizing the problem this way, we can clearly see how complex the routing becomes and why we need a mathematical algorithm to find the cheapest path. Now that we understand the network, we must check a crucial condition before solving any puzzle. Is the problem balanced? A balanced problem occurs when the total supply available across all sources is exactly equal to the total demand required across all destinations. When a problem is balanced, the math works out perfectly with nothing left over. However, real life is rarely this perfect. Often, factories produce more than people want to buy, or vice versa. When total supply does not equal total demand, we call it an unbalanced problem. To solve this, we artificially balance it by adding a dummy source or a dummy destination. Since these dummy items are not actually going anywhere, their shipping cost is always set to zero. Let us see this with a concrete example. We have two factories, Source 1 and Source 2, and two warehouses, Destination 1 and Destination 2. Source 1 has 40 units and Source 2 has 60 units. Both destinations demand 50 units each. We are also given the shipping costs for each route, ranging from $1 to $4 per unit. Our first step is always to check for balance. We add the supply from both factories, giving us 100 units. We then add the demand from both warehouses, which also equals 100 units. Because the total supply exactly matches the total demand, this is a perfectly balanced problem, and we do not need to add any dummy entities. Since our problem is balanced, we can now propose a shipping plan. We always want to prioritize the cheapest routes first. Looking at our costs, the route from Source 2 to Destination 2 is the cheapest at only $1 per unit. Destination 2 needs 50 units and Source 2 has 60 available, so we ship 50 units along this route. This leaves Source 2 with 10 remaining units, which we must send to Destination 1. Now, Destination 1 still needs 40 more units to meet its total demand of 50. Conveniently, Source 1 has exactly 40 units available, so we ship all of them to Destination 1. Our plan is complete. Now that we have our shipping plan, let us calculate the final bill. We expand our objective function specifically for the 3 routes we actually decided to use, ignoring the routes where we shipped 0 items. We substitute our specific costs and quantities into the equation. We are shipping 40 units at $2 each, 10 units at $4 each, and 50 units at $1 each. Multiplying these out gives us route costs of $80, $40, and $50. Adding these together, we find our final total transportation cost is $170. By prioritizing the cheapest route first, we found a highly efficient plan that satisfies all constraints without wasting money. That first example was perfectly balanced. But what happens when supply and demand do not match? Our strategy is to first calculate the total supply and total demand to see the exact difference. Once we know how unbalanced the system is, we create a dummy entity to absorb that difference. If customer demand is higher than what we can produce, we add a dummy source to make up the shortfall on paper. If our production is higher than what customers want, we add a dummy destination to receive the excess inventory. This trick allows the mathematical equations to balance out so we can solve the problem. Let us apply this dummy concept to a new scenario. Imagine a bakery with 2 kitchens acting as sources and 3 cafes acting as destinations. Kitchen 1 can supply 100 cakes and Kitchen 2 can supply 150 cakes. Meanwhile, the 3 cafes demand 80, 70 and 120 cakes respectively. We start by adding the cake supply from both kitchens, giving us a total inventory of 250 cakes. Next, we add the demand from all 3 cafes, which totals 270 cakes. We immediately see a problem. The cafes want more cakes than the kitchens can possibly bake. To fix this mathematically, we calculate the exact difference. Subtracting the total supply from the total demand reveals a strict shortage of 20 cakes. Because the equations will contradict each other in this state, we must add a dummy kitchen. This imaginary kitchen will have a supply of exactly 20 cakes, bringing our total supply up to 270, perfectly matching the demand. Because this kitchen does not actually exist, no real cakes will ever be shipped from it, so the shipping cost is set to exactly $0. Whichever cafe is assigned to receive cakes from this dummy kitchen in the final math solution is the cafe that will simply not receive enough real cakes in real life. We have covered a lot of ground today. Let us review the key takeaways. First, the transportation problem is a powerful mathematical tool used to find the absolute cheapest way to move goods from multiple sources to multiple destinations. Second, we use an objective function to minimize total costs while strictly following supply and demand constraints to ensure we do not exceed our physical limits. Finally, we learned that we must always ensure the problem is balanced before solving it, using dummy sources or destinations if necessary. By setting up these rules, we can turn a complex real world logistics nightmare into a solvable puzzle. Great job following along.